What's going on, people? Welcome to the live match reaction. We'll be discussing the 0-0 draw against Leicester away from home. Me and T will be here to get all your thoughts as well. The link has been posted so you guys can join via audio or video. You just have to click the pinned comment to join and have your say. But we'll be reading out comments. A frustrating draw. I know it's away from home, but if you put everything into context, T, I am fuming. I'm fuming the fact that we face a side that has conceded over 20 goals in 10 games this season, has one of the worst goalkeepers in the Premier League, and we only had one shot on target all game long. And, you know, the only positive that I can think of today is the fact that we managed to keep a clean sheet because they're decent going forward. But that was just unacceptable. We talk about facing sides around in and around us. We're facing a side that's 20th in the Premier League. Yes, I understand they have some talent in there, but you have to pick up wins. You beat Leeds, you go against Leicester, and you have a performance that's shambolic. We're lucky to come away with a point because Vicente made some decent saves. And we're facing one of the worst sides in the league, not because of the attacking efforts, but because of the defensive efforts. And we had one shot on target. One shot on target. So if we're doing this against Leicester and we're talking about, oh, we face Liverpool, City, and all them teams, then what next? You go beat Wolves, and then you have another inconsistent game. You have to build up consistency.
Yep.
I mean,
absolutely.
as you can see, I am very upset. I'm very upset at the result. If you look at the result in itself, good point away from home. But if we put context into it, I think it was so bad. I think it was very bad today. And we just didn't have anything going throughout the game.
It's bad because we shouldn't be the B side in that matchup. We shouldn't be playing a team like Leicester, this year's version of Leicester, with the way they performed all season long. I don't care if they're at home or not. I really don't. I could care less. We're the better team on the pitch. We should be the better team on the pitch. I don't care if it's at their place or not. But we play uninspiring football. There was no point in which I felt like we were going to get a result out of that match as far as getting the win. There was never time. Like we're I think there was maybe 30 minutes left in the match, and I'm thinking to myself, please end this game. Like this is not going well, man. It's just it's upsetting to see that we came in with such I felt like the game plan wasn't right from the start. I wasn't super excited about the starting 11, but it's cool. I could go with it. You know what I mean? But overall, man, I just felt like we didn't do what it took, man. And it's not a good sign of, like you said, building consistency. It's not a good sign of things to come. If we can't, we need to get two. Like, yes, win two, get two in a row. Like, don't be satisfied with winning one and then come back and tying just so we could try and get another three against Wolves. Why not try and win all three? I mean, at a certain point, yes, maybe you switch off if it's not working out. If you don't see it happening, and maybe you want to get guys some rest or things like that. I get it, but like I never felt like we went after it. We were never pursuing that game. You know what I'm saying? We were never trying to play on the front foot. Like it just, I don't know. I mean, Leicester looked like a top 10 team out there. They just couldn't get the goal, but they got shots on target. They had great opportunities. They just couldn't go. They looked better than we did the entirety of the match, and they're 20th in the league.
Yeah. Look, they're not bad side going forward. We said it before. We had the match preview. We're talking about how they can score goals.
Right.
But where I get frustrated with is the fact that we're in this game with one shot on target against one of the worst defensive sides in the league. That is not acceptable. But look, the lines are open. We're going to bring people on throughout the show. Of course, we'll be reading out your comments as well. Let's not waste any time. Let's bring on Henry first and foremost. Henry, Leicester 0, Palace 0. I thought it was a frustrating game to watch. What did you make of it?
God, I am so frustrated with this result, man. We were terrible all game, pretty much. We got nothing going for us. It was just, I mean, I know it's harder than it looks, but I expected so much more today from the team. I really did. And the fact that we had one shot on target in the whole game, and it took, 70 minutes or something like that? We never really throwed it all in there, threw the kitchen sink at them at the end. We were more actually hanging on for a draw than than going for the win.
Yeah.
We made Leicester a team that aren't certain to go down, but may well suffer relegation. We made them look good, and if they played with if their players had their shooting boots on today, or if they had that final quality delivery in the box, we were done for.
Yeah, we could have easily lost that game. But so you mentioned that it went wrong. We didn't have shots on target and this and. But what do you think exactly it was? Like, was we not up for it? Was he happy with the team selection? Like, where do you think it went wrong for us to actually play like that?
Just the tempo wasn't. We didn't play quicker. We were too pedestrian. We didn't play quick enough at all, and we lost the mid. The midfield battle is crucial, and I just felt like there wasn't that fight and hunger to win the ball back. And when we did get the ball back, there wasn't enough forward thinking. There wasn't enough confidence to actually play forward and test Leicester's defence. The few times we did ask them a few questions, they looked shaky, but we didn't throw enough at them, and
Yeah.
they just for that reason we allowed them to grow confidence.
Yep.
And it got better as the game went on.
What did you actually make of the substitutions today? I think the one positive today was that we kept the clean sheet. There's even that, as we're talking about here, we were lucky to keep a clean sheet. You can
Thank you,
argue
Vicente.
that Vicente's literally saved us. But what did you make of the subs? Taking Wilf off, Edward off, Elise came on, Jarrell came on. I thought
the thing
first of all,
the thing I was confused about was Decore coming off.
He had the yellow. He on the yellow. I think that was the move.
But he was playing. Milivojevic played rubbish when he came. I thought he was giving the ball away. He was half-hearted, not committing to his challenges, and a couple of times he lost just individual tackles, and one of the times Maddison was a really presentable chance for him. And he shoots off target, but any other day, that's a goal. I just don't see what Milivojevic brings to this team anymore. I really don't. I'm sorry. People can disagree with me. That's fine. But I just don't understand what he brings for us.
Well, I think the thing is, man, he's the backup central defensive midfielder. That's just the situation. I mean, I think Patrick Vieira would be much more satisfied with not feeling pressure to bring him in. But the fact that Decore got another yellow in the first half of the match just puts a pressure on the squad that he probably had to deal with and make a decision on. So.
I think it's very interesting that he takes with Decore every time he gets a yellow card. Does Vieira not trust him to maybe keep himself composed? Because it's happened twice now. It was last game as well, this game as well. I guess I know that the midfield and what Decore is doing is a difficult area of the pitch, and all it takes is one charge for him to get sent off. But
no, he is. But Anderson was on a yellow the whole game, wasn't he? And he didn't come off.
He trusts Anderson to be smart enough not to make that mistake. I mean, we've seen. I mean, honestly, in one of those, I can't remember what match it was where he picked up one of those early yellows. He could have got another one pretty easily off of a very questionable challenge. I don't know. Maybe Vieira knows that Decore is going to play one way and one way only, and he runs that risk of picking up that second yellow. I mean,
I felt sorry for Decore because he was overrun in midfield. I thought because he kept on getting the ball, and he couldn't really do anything apart from just protect it and pass it back to the defenders. And I just thought that we're just putting Decore under too many pressurized situations, and we can't really do that too much, or else we won't see the best of him. Really, we can't keep asking him to do this.
Looking ahead to the next game, Henry, you got Wolves on Tuesday. Are you confident?
Not right now. I'm not. I'm judging from that performance, but I just don't know if we're going to win. I don't know. We have to play a lot better than we did today, that's for sure. But we have to try and win that game. If we do, then 7 points from 9, and then everyone kind of shuts up, But I think I just don't know why we were missing today, because we had every reason to go for it and we didn't.
Yep.
I would be okay. I would accept it if we drew 0-0 and we were peppering balls in their box and we were creating chances and we hit the bar, hit the post. Danny Ward pulled off wonder saves, but none of that happened.
Yeah.
So it just feels like a wasted opportunity, man.
Yeah. Look, Henry, thank you for coming on and having your say. As always, you guys can also join us and have your say via audio or video. There's a few people waiting behind the scenes, so we'll be doing rotations throughout the show. Let's bring on Stan and POC because I know they're both busy. We talked about the game. Gents, what's going on?
POC's at Premier League.
Look at my man Patrick. Look at that smile on his face, boy.
Hello, Ned. How are you?
Good, man.
Yeah, we're good. I mean, you got a massive smile on your face for a performance that warrants absolutely no.
Patrick is having a good
time. He's having a good time, man. He's in the.
Thank you, T. Listen, we didn't win the match, obviously. I'm not happy with the result, but again, I'm not going to go crazy. I was going to Philadelphia with my son, who's right there.
Hey.
All the Palace fans are here. It's nice. I mean, listen, man. Disappointing result. We should have gotten more than a point. But again, if you don't shoot the ball, how are you going to score a goal? I mean, we don't shoot. But I've got to give Edward credit. Edward, great shot, great save with Danny Ward, played really well. We're disappointed. I mean, there's too many performances there. Zaha got into the game. Ezra wasn't into the game. The Corey Patrick played well, but again, picked up a yellow card, so he couldn't finish the match. But I mean, again, like I said, and by the way, Grace, I thought had a very good game in goal too. I think
So what do you make of the subs though, Patrick?
I think both of them were done for a reason. Well, the early stuff, as far as like Mitchell picked up that knock, so I can understand why he's taking him out. By the way, shout out to Gyro. I thought Gyro played really, really well. Really, really well. Yeah. The Corey Lucas, I didn't love it, but again, the whole first yellow card thing with the Corey and being worried about him, pick up a second yellow card. I was shocked at the Edward stuff. Being shocked, I should have kept him on. He had just almost scored a goal, and then to put Ayu up front, and he put Zaha up top. So that one to me.
We're trying to win a game, and he took Zaha and Edward off and kept Ayu up front. When you're trying to win a game,
when he made those subs, he wasn't trying to win the game. At that point, he was fine with us tying that match. It's like he's trying to save them for Tuesday.
I agree. Zaha was a save. The Edward sub just made no sense. I would never again. That one I don't understand. Yeah, Edward's playing well. He scored 2 goals in 2 matches. Almost scored a goal. Was working. Even though it wasn't getting a lot of service. That made Zaha's the one made sense. Honestly, we was getting double teamed the entire match because he started Ayu another side, so they're going to double team the other player. Zaha was frustrated. Him saving us for Tuesday, no problem. But honestly, the stuff to pick up Edwards made no. And you're right, Ayu up front, no. At the 8, yes. At the 9, no. That one didn't work. But I will say again, bringing on Gyro, and Gyro played really well. That's a good thing for the future. At least I can see now we might have a backup for Mitchell, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Look, Patrick, you're out. Enjoy yourself, man.
Right.
We're gonna be talking about the show, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll be recording the preview anyways.
All
right, mate.
Take care, Patrick.
Take care, lads. All right. Bye.
All right, that was Patrick. He's enjoying himself. But back to reality now with Palestine. You're at home. You was watching that game. We didn't have much enjoyment watching that. What did you make of it as a whole?
Lads, I wish I stayed in bed.
Had that feeling. I mean, I was up at 6:30 in the morning to watch that mess, man.
I just don't know how you can go off that second half against Leeds and turn up at Leicester. And listen, they've got some really good players going forward, and Ward was getting roasted, etc., etc. But you can turn up at Leicester, and their defense is shaky. And when did Zaha just dribble past them once, or who was on the other wing? Ayu or Elise when he came on?
I don't feel like anybody.
Nothing, man.
As they went
I-
by some people, that was about
I
it.
think okay, so about the Wolves situation and our attack, I think you have to give credit to Leicester in terms of how they defended because they didn't allow
they
no
were doubling-
overloads.
they were
But the
doubling
problem
on that
with
side.
us was that we were not committing forward. It was either Wilf
No,
has
we
the
weren't.
ball, Eze has the ball. There's no link up play. It was
No.
like just a bunch of individuals, and it was too easy for Leicester to defend against. That's why my issue lies. I mean, yes, Wilf didn't have a great game. I don't think anyone really had a great game in this one, especially going forward. But it's because of us as a whole team. I mean, it was just negative. Look, Ward, there's a comment here. Ward got burned by Barnes way too much.
Jesus,
100% he got burned. 100% he did. And I've been saying this about right back. I'm not going to keep saying it after every show. Like, we need a new right back. And this is why people talk about centre mid being the only issue. But a new right back is needed. He doesn't
like,
need
Jesus.
our system.
I was
I
thinking to
think-
myself, how many times is Joe Ward going to get 1-2'd? How many
know what?
times are you going to
It
get
was
1-2'd?
It was too easy as well. But then again, let's be fair. Tyreek didn't have a great game either. Because Ward is going to be used as cool. Ward didn't have a great. I don't think Tyreek had a great game. I think if you look at the first half, his passes weren't really on point. And also, we've seen so many overlaps
I
on the
think it
left hand
was.
side, Wilf and Tyreek. But I didn't see that in this game. I think Tyreek had a quiet game even before the injury.
I think, in all honesty, it was just bloody awful performance, like all round. Okay, great, clean sheet. He played excellent. Actually, he did play very, very well.
Yeah.
I would say, obviously, game management. We didn't lose it at the end. You know what? Those penalties that I know Maddison got booked for diving, but you've seen them given.
Yep.
You have seen them given, and you've seen
That was
VA
scary.
go to VAI and still be given. So we were lucky there.
If it was Liverpool, it would have been a penalty.
Yeah, you know, if it's not a team at the bottom of the league, it's definitely a penalty, right? But it was poor, man. It was really, really poor. I felt like the players had concrete in their boots or something, man. It was just like so lethargic. Like, did the lads have a fry up on a pint of Guinness before the game or something? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
12:30, it just seemed like we were still sleeping. I don't know
Yeah,
what
just-
it was. We weren't up for it. It's the early kickoff, man. It's the early
And-
kickoff.
I don't get the substitutions as well. Okay, I get the gyro for Mitchell because I think Mitchell was injured. He was poor, right? But like, okay, he took Decore off because Decore had a booking, bought Luca on. That's all
Yeah.
that he could do. Will
Right.
Hughes isn't there, right? So you had to bring
Right.
him on.
Right.
But then, like you say, you're going to win the game, right? And you're taking Wilf and Edouard off, who are our biggest threats. Edouard's got 2 in 2, and Zaha's obviously a menace all the time, right? Against
Zaha.
defenders. And you put Ayew through the middle.
What was that?
Or did Ayew go left or did
No,
Ayew
Ayew was when
Ayew's through the middle.
when Edward came out, they put Ayew up top.
But where
and
did JP play then when he was fucking
No, when
invisible?
like a
JP,
4-4-2,
no, when
I
JP
think.
came on, he went up top and they put Ayew in the midfield.
Yeah, it was
Listen.
confusing.
I think we lack some options as a team. I do think we lack options, but you know what? We should have got something better than we did today. We should have at least, like, you know, I think like Henry made a good point. If we've peppered their goal and we've had like 15 shots on target and, you know, we haven't done it, then you think, all right, cool, like whatever. But that was poor. It was poor. And you've
And I
got
mean, I saw John's comment, and I get that. He was like, you know, satisfactory. We move on to Wolves at home. We try to get 3.77 from 3. John, I completely understand that sentiment, and at this point, that's what I'm hoping for, and that's what I'm looking to. I'm just not happy with the fact that I don't feel like we tried to get 9 and 3. Like,
no,
like-
we
Against,
didn't.
against a side that's awful defensively,
Like-
I don't think one shot on target is just not good enough.
it's kind
And
of
that's
like
the
what
thing.
it's kind of like what Henry said. Cool, we go to Leicester and we draw it, but how does that draw look? Were we getting shots on target? Was there times we might have got a shot off the post? Were we threatening? There was never a time when we were threatening. There was never a time
Like we were
that it felt like we were
shocking
going
from
for it.
set pieces. We didn't have one free kick outside the box where we could have pinged a ball in. You know what I think as well? I think we should have started with Olise. I know why he did it.
Yep.
I know why he did it because Ward was getting burned, and I think he knew that was going to happen. Are you on the right to give him some cover, etc., etc.? But
Ward was getting burned.
Well,
regardless.
exactly.
It didn't matter.
No, hold up. So about that.
I hope he doesn't have that outlook anymore because it doesn't matter.
What did Ayew do for Wardy not to get burnt? Because he was still getting burnt.
Yeah.
He was still getting burnt.
I
For
hope
me,
that's not his
he
outlook
has to
going
start.
forward.
We
I
did that
know.
last game.
Listen.
At least it offers
Yeah.
something different for me.
Yeah, but I'm talking
Ayew
about-
is in the middle. Go on.
I'm talking about before the game. I can
Right.
understand.
Right.
But
right.
in practice, he was still getting burnt. And last week, Olise was a huge threat. He was, and he against Chelsea, huge threat as well because he's got he can dribble, he's got the twinkle toes, he's got this, he's got that. And today, like, I know what Ayew does, and obviously, like, I think I'm just done with disrespecting him because he is what he is. He's a Crystal Palace player, but he slowed us down in attack a lot, like he did, and he always does that. That's the player he is. And I just, like, if he doesn't start Olise against Wolves, I mean, he got to start asking some questions. Do you know what I mean?
Why would you do this today if you're not going to start him against Wolves? Because it doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Because the thing is, like, I get the whole, Olise's going to come in super sub thing. That puts a lot of pressure on that kid.
But you know what?
Olise play from the start and just be who he is.
Olise is most effective when he starts games. He is. He is most effective when he's not a super sub.
No, because you put a lot of pressure on somebody to be a super sub. You know what I'm saying? It's like you come in, you got to make something happen. That's why we're bringing you in. Make something happen. It's like, why don't you start him from the beginning where his talent can shine throughout the entirety of the 90 minutes rather than trying to get into this
almost winning already.
Yeah. Well, if you do enjoy the show, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We'll be reading through more comments. But for me, let's talk about quickly. Let's just talk about Schlupp. T, you wasn't happy with his performance. For me, I felt like his defensive positioning wasn't great. Sometimes the press, it was just so easy, and there was such a massive gap in midfield. Other than that, I don't think there was much wrong with his passing accuracy.
He tried to drive forward though.
But then again, I still feel like we could do better.
That's the problem with Schlupp, man. It's like, he does great driving forward. Bro, you're a midfielder. I need you to help me build up so we can play through the middle. He gives us nothing in the middle. We can't play through the center of the pitch when he's out there because he's not a midfielder. Yes, he's good going forward. He can drive the ball forward. We know this. We know Jeff Schlupp has pace. But the problem is we can't play a midfield 3 with him because we can't play through the middle when he's in there. That's the problem. And he has horrible positioning. The midfield is wide open, and it puts more pressure on Doucouré when we're trying to get back on defense.
You know what Vieira said in his press conference? Do you want to hear?
I would love to. Yeah. I would love to.
The last line, he said, they have quality. We knew how difficult it would be, and we didn't play to hurt them. We played without taking risks, with the handbrake on, and it was comfortable for them in the second half.
At least he's honest.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, because
now whose fault is that though? But the question I would love for him to say after that was, whose fault is that, Patrick? Whose fault is that? Is that your player's fault, or is that because you allowed them to play that way?
Yeah,
it's true.
I think our subs wasn't great. Our subs, as I said, I don't understand how it's 0-0. How do you take off Wilf? I know Wilf didn't have a great game, but
he didn't shake Vieira's hand either.
There's something. Wait, remember the game against Brentford? We didn't have a great game. Who steps up? Wilf with a fantastic goal. He just creates something out of nothing.
And that's the type of player he is. You can't take him off.
You can't take him off, especially in a game like this when you're creating nothing.
I agree.
Like, he's that guy.
You've either got Edouard 3-3. He's confidence, knows where the onion bag is. I thought Edouard was good today. Yeah, I will say he was good. For the freaking scrap that they fed him, he was excellent. Like really, really good. Ran the lines well, etc., etc. And like you said, Zaha, his trademark is cut in, boom, put one in the bottom corner. Do you know what I mean? But listen, we got to move on. Let's see how we come up against Wolves, man. It's
just putting pressure on ourselves, just unnecessarily.
It puts pressure on us to get that win against Wolves now, because then if you don't get the result or you tie against Wolves, now it's 5-3, and now we all feel like we've underperformed what we should have done in those past 3 matches. Like, we have this run of games, and we have to take advantage of it, and we have to play.
The saving grace is that we're good at home. We are decent at home, so that is the saving grace. Why is Eboe not getting a game, not getting a look in? Like, why didn't they just send him out on loan for the season? Do you know what I mean? Like, try something different today. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's annoying. It's annoying, Sam. It's annoying. But look, thank you for coming on, bro. We'll just rotate around for a bit. But yeah, look, frustrating. But talk to you anyways. Talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, Stan.
Take care. Cheers.
That's Stan. Next up, we got AJ. Of course, you guys, you can come on and have your say if you want. Leave a comment, or you can click the pin comment to join via audio or video to have your say on the Leicester game. 0-0, of course, at the King Power Stadium. Next up, we got AJ. AJ, Palace 0, Leicester 0 at the King Power Stadium. How did you see? Are you happy with the point, or are you disappointed with the manner that we played?
Bro, that shit was dry. Oh my God, bro. The game was dry. We were dry. That shit was dry like burnt toast. It was dry like
Chicken
we
breast.
mixed like no God, no. We mixed like no milk, bro. That shit was awful, bro. Like, do you know what? Yeah, I feel so bad for those Palace fans that had to travel up to Leicester for that, bro. Like,
early as well.
we just didn't bring it. Like, well, and I'm looking at it, right? And I'm looking at the game afterwards. I'm looking at the Premier League table, and I'm like, where do we go from here, bro? Like, I understand, like, the squad's light in it, like, so, you know, credit where it's due. We're not a 700. No, let me be realistic. We're not like a club that spends 200 million in the summer. It's just not what we do. Right. But even if we pulled our finger out in January and gave the squad a boost, is it too late at that point? Players are going to be overpriced. World Cup hype as well, bro. Like, I'm actually kind of concerned. Like, we just did not bring it at all today. Just nothing happened. I think the only positive I can think about the game was Gaia was pretty good in goal. And it was interesting to see Gyro, but...
And Gahey, to be fair, I like Mark as well. I thought he had a solid performance in that game. I think the stats prove it as well. But yeah, apart from... we're looking at small positives out of this game. Vicente saved us. We're talking about defenders. I think
we're talking about guys in the defensive third.
In midfield, Doucouré wasn't bad when he was on. I liked it. He tried to put passes forward, but of course he got that yellow card. And Vieira somehow, I don't know why, but he just doesn't trust him. He doesn't trust him on a yellow card. Every time he gets a yellow card, he just subs him off.
It's because he's overrun, bro. It's because he's overrun. Like, we saw it last week at Leeds, right? When the midfield was dominating the game, Doucouré had to stick his foot in and do the reckless stuff because he's overrunning the midfield. Like, when he's got 2 or 3 midfielders running at him, nobody's on doing that defensive work apart from Doucouré. He's the one that essentially is the last protector in front of our line of defense. And the way our defense is looking now, don't get me wrong, our centre backs are fine. I'd even debate left backs fine, bro. The right back thing is just getting a bit nuts. Like, Joel Ward and Nathaniel Klein are too old and too injury prone and too clumsy between the two of them. They both got pros and cons, but reality situation is if we want to progress like as a football club and you want to show ambition to the players that we got and not lose them, bro, you got to start making moves.
100%.
Like,
100%.
At the end of the day, yeah, all the clubs that have, well, depends what football club you compare us to, because if you look at somebody like a bigger club like Liverpool, all right, granted, you got in Klopp, then you sold on the project, then you brought in 1 or 2 players, then you got rid of the Deadwood, then you bring in another few players, a couple players stayed, they sold on players for big money. We're not selling players on for big money either. So at one point, bro, we're going to hit a brick wall. And once that brick wall is hit, bro, there is no coming back. Because even if we go, let's just work with hypotheticals, because obviously I don't want to go into no overhype, but worst case scenario, if Crystal Palace go down this season, big man, that football club is getting stripped.
Are you worried about relegation?
I can't help but kind of not keep it in the back of my head. You can't, because I'm looking at these games that we are passing up, right? The first set of games, granted, we played bigger teams and VAR and refereeing decisions definitely cost us. However, we've got these next set of games where we should have been picking up momentum, bro. We're playing the worst team in the league today. Like, we're playing the team that have got possibly one of the worst goalkeepers I've ever seen. The team that is conceding 4 or 5 goals for fun. I watched the preview thing that he did with the guy from Leicester, and even he was looking at it with fear. Like, I just saw fear in the guy's eyes. But it's like as soon as the whistle went, Leicester just turned up. That was it. And then even when they did make their odd little changes, Vardy looked like he was going to come on and do a madness at one point. Like, Harvey Barnes was just having the time of his life. Even Yuri Tielemans Yuri don't want to be there, bro. Man, it was playing a Ballon d'Or performance against us, bro. Like, what's going on?
It was, yeah. Honestly, it was not good. But with regards to right back, It is what it is. We're just stuck with it. But then again, teams target us. 2 games in a row now against Leeds, especially the game started. They pressed Wardy. In this game, they played it through him. And I feel bad for the guy because Wardy shouldn't be a Premier League star. I think realistically, who does Wardy play for? He plays for Nottingham Forest. And do you want to be
Bro,
Nottingham
he's
Forest?
done
I
out
mean,
here.
who else?
Bro,
Yeah, I mean,
he's
who
done
else
out.
does it
He's
play for?
done.
Even Nottingham Forest. I don't think
he's
he
not a
plays
rotational player in the Premier League for anybody else. He's
He's a
barely a
squad
squad
player,
guy. He's probably a squad mentor for anybody else. That's
But
about
bro,
it.
let's be honest. Even if you've picked out a few championship clubs, there's a couple of championship clubs he's not starting for. You know that, right? Like
There's a lot of them that
he's not starting for any other Premier League team, and there is a bag of championship clubs that he is not starting for. When he leaves Palace eventually, big man, he's going back to Portsmouth. Like he's not going to he's not signing with like Norwich, or he's not going to like somewhere half the bro. The brother is going to Portsmouth. He's going back home.
Do you think in that case, when we're talking about midfielders needing another midfielder, what's more important then? Because
bro, but you know the problem is, bro. The problem with that, right? Vieira's got the players there, man. Hughes can do it. Gyro didn't even look. He did not look out of place when he came on today. Considering the brother has not played since the dawn of time, and obviously the manager clearly don't rate him. The man looked comfortable when he won the ball clean. He didn't have to do no stupid tackling. He didn't do anything reckless. He just calm, got guys off the ball, found the right passes, wasn't scared to look up and do a couple touches and spray it down the wing.
I mean,
and as soon as got sprayed down the wing, we lost possession.
Dude played in the Champions League. Like this dude, his level of composure is probably on another level. This dude's played at a high level.
Final against Manchester United.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I know it was a long time ago, but it's crazy what his career's come to. The fact that he was playing Europa League finals and now he's coming off the bench against Palace and that was his first.
That was his first Premier League appearance for us, man.
Bro, I think in all fairness, bro, we need to. I mean, even with the right back thing, even if we hold that off until next summer, bro, I don't understand why Vieira don't rate these guys, bro. But if he doesn't rate these midfielders that are, from my eyes, capable and competent enough to do it, give the guy the money, bro, or sell Gyro, loan out Hughes, or sell Hughes, and then bring in somebody that this guy rates, bro. Because or bring in somebody from the youth, bro. Like.
What I don't understand if you don't rate these guys, like what about Jeff Slupp are you seeing that you like that's going to make us play well? Like what is it?
I can't with that guy, man. I can't with Jeffrey Slupp. Like what his contract's up in the summer, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. I think he's a squad player that can play different positions. But for me, Elise, of course, you're looking hindsight, but at least he should have started, man. I liked it. We done it against Chelsea. It was good. It was decent. We done it against Leeds. I know we started the game off slowly, but then it was still decent. You know, they can change. I can go midfield. At least they can go midfield. But
yeah, but even with that, when Elise came on, he didn't.
It's the only game that we
change the game. Yeah, but when Elise came on, he didn't light up the game or change the game. Like the thing is, right? I think there's this narrative that like. The younger, fresher, more exciting players are going to come and change the game. Bro, not all that doesn't always happen, you know. That doesn't always work. Sometimes you got to just leave it to IU or one of them guys to do the hard work today and do the grafting. Granted, both of them were very everyone was underwhelming today. Even when I saw Wilf and Edouard come off.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have made a difference because we couldn't get going. We didn't come out first gear. It was crazy to watch today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The thing about the Elise thing that I disagree about is that when he did come on, he tried to create something and he had like 3 players around him. And despite that, there was like 1 or 2 moments where he did try to get forward, putting the ball in the box as well. Out of nothing, considering how bad we were going forward, he did try to create something. I think if he started the game with Elise instead of, Schlupp and IU, then I feel like you got more going forward. I think it's all momentum as well. Honestly, next game, Elise has to start. Elise has to start this game because this is the only game we face Chelsea. Look, this is what we're saying. We face Chelsea, a side that's improved under Graham Potter. We still scored a goal against them. We face Leeds, and now we face Leicester. And the game that Elise doesn't start against Leicester is the game that we're not scoring. Now, Elise did come on, and you can't say that he didn't have.
You don't want to go down the track, right, or the danger of becoming, because obviously we don't know what's going on with Wilf, innit? And that just seems to be up in the air. So believe of that what you will. But then if it does come to the point where we are then relying on Elise, do we need now go into a situation where we can't win without Elise? We need. Do you see what I'm getting at with that? we're going to end up turning Elise into the next Wilf. And then it's going to be all reliant on him coming on the pitch or him being on the pitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we need to just squad build a bit better, man. We just need to. I think we got it a little bit. We started so nice in the summer, but I don't think we did enough. And I think now we are feeling it because we got 2-3 injuries, and all of a sudden we just look hella weak. Because as much as I almost contradict myself from what I said last week about giving the kids an opportunity, it's nice to see them on the bench. But at the end of the day, some of those guys aren't going to particularly be ready, and I'm pretty sure the manager's going to have his common sense to know who's ready out of the youth players. Bro, we need to have a bigger, stronger squad. When I saw that squad photo getting taken, what was it, a month ago, that squad looked light. And now we got 3-4 injuries, and now our squad looks even lighter. We look like we ain't got any alternatives to certain players. That's why we're playing certain man out of position in there.
Yeah. For me, there's a comment by Terry. The fact that this guy thinks Hughes and Riedewald are good enough, but Wood isn't, shows us nothing about football. Riedewald came on today, had a decent performance. Hughes
and he looked better in half of the game
than
Moore did the whole
game. I'm telling you, in a few games time or whatever, we'll be coming here and people will be saying the same thing about Joe Ward. I'm telling you, midfield we can fix for the short time being. I think if Elise starts and Ayu goes in there, we've still got someone in midfield that can drag the ball forward, and Elise can be down the right hand side. That right back spot, we got no one. We've got no one, and people talk about us being right back. It's only right back. But teams, Leicester didn't go through Mitchell. They just targeted Joe Ward all game long. They targeted Joe
Ward the whole time.
And midfield, at least you could try different variations. Like, even if it ain't Hughes or Riedewald, it's Ayu there with Elise. With Ayu Elise starting, we've scored in the past 2 games against more difficult opposition. We faced the side, one of the worst sides defensively, and the game that Elise doesn't start, we have 1 shot on target.
Do you know what that is? You know what that comment is? You know that comment, right? That comment is blind loyalty, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like you're sucking off the fact, bro, that Ward's been there for a minute. Like, take that out of your head for a second, bro, and just be progressive about what you're saying, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and you get a lot of blind loyalty with our fan base.
Don't get twisted, bro. When we're playing against teams that stiff and got no pace on the wing, that's one thing, bro. But when you're playing against a team that knows what they're doing and have got the pace and ability on the wings, bro, Ward will struggle every time.
No,
he will.
You know what I
think it is? Bro? Open your eyes.
No, you know what I think it is? Even before, forget about this game. Last season when I was calling for right back, people were still saying Woody had a decent game, Klein has a decent game. But I feel like what we don't realize is when they have a decent game, it still doesn't mean that they're at a level which they should be.
It just means they're not playing bad.
Exactly. They're exactly. Like, they can have 1 or 2 games. We need a consistent right back with overlaps. When you have Ayu there and you have Ayu not having anything going forward, and then he doesn't have any option, there isn't an overlap. Like, Woody can't do that. Woody can barely go back and defend. We just need a new right back. Like, it's 2022. Joe Wood has done brilliantly for us. But for us to go to the next level, doesn't. We talk about midfield, everyone, but for me, we need to improve in that area as well. That area is as urgent as midfield for me, because it's just a liability. It's a massive liability.
If you think about every starting Premier League right back, can you think of one Premier League right back that he's either equal to or better than in the Premier League starting right now?
Even with Nottingham Forest I talked about, I think their right back is better than us. Nico Williams.
Nico Williams is miles better than him.
So on the bench, bro. Come on, man.
Okay. If that's the case, then that pretty much says it all. I mean, we might have one of the poorest right backs in a very long time. But look, AJ, anything else that you want to say before the Wolves game? How are you feeling for that one?
Nah, man, I'll most likely gonna be there. Hopefully, we're gonna fucking wake up and fingers crossed, touch wood, bro. We're gonna see something. I'm just hoping personally that today's a blip, innit?
Yeah, because absolutely,
bro. Like, these are the games we need to be winning if we want to be ambitious, innit? Like, at the end of the day, bro, I'm just frustrated, bro, having to sit through that and come over. Like, I feel like that's just a 3 points or 2 points essentially drop, bro. It's just an opportunity wasted today, man. I feel like we could have done so much better, man, and put them under so much more pressure. And I'm just frustrated, if I'm being brutally honest, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, look, AJ, appreciate it, bro, coming on. And hopefully we get that win against Wolves, man.
All right, take it easy, boys.
All right, big
take
dog.
care. We're going to bring on Patrick next. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to hit the like button. Takes a second of your time. Helps us out a lot supporting the channel. Thanks to everyone who's so far let your comments known. It's an opinions game. I appreciate every comment that's said. Let's bring on Patrick, who's been waiting for a while. Patrick, Leicester 0, Palace 0 away from home at King Power Stadium. What did you make of the game?
Thought the game was trash. I mean, I'm not even gonna.
My man.
That game was trash, guys. And I'm not gonna blame Lucas and Wards because they're not at that level anymore. They're just not. So everything that you guys have been saying about the team being, off balance on the left or the right, ambition, that all starts at the top and through the manager. Now, the stuff that you're talking about, bad subs, I know a certain manager, older guy, you might have heard of him. Patrick loves to lambaste him. That's why I always leave those comments dinging Patrick back. But
Patrick. Yeah.
That was a Roy thing. Like that was a Roy performance. We didn't go for. He wouldn't have made those subs.
It felt that way.
I'm gonna call it as it is, and I started to complain about it last year. There's a pattern with Vieira, and the pattern is unpredictability, and it's not good because all right, I'm not the biggest fan of Wilf at this point. There's no question there. You guys know where I stand on him. He's a guy that I think has lost place that should go through the middle. But if you're pinging a long ball and thinking he's going to outrun somebody, no, you got to get him to. He's got to get to the ball. Him coming off. I think he was so frustrated because I don't think there was a plan. So he walked off the field. I don't blame him. And usually I'm the first one to blame him. I'm one of those, but that game plan today was trash.
Yep.
And I don't think enough people are, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't think enough people are holding Vieira accountable. Now it's almost 2 years, guys. Like, come on. And then when you're talking about ambition, top 10 and moving forward, you got to stop that. Because if that was the case, you got to stop talking like that. Because then the Paris, well, I don't really blame him, but his American owners, who I complain about all the time because they run the Sixers and nearly into the ground. They got Joe Ward, like you said. Joe Ward's playing. He was playing in 2016 against Hull City. Do we have to go any further with that?
Yeah, I agree. But in terms of the Vieira, do you think he's got the squad yet to fully play the way he's playing? Like we talk about maybe another midfielder, another right back in starting positions. Do you think that's what's letting us down?
Well, I think in a way he's letting us down. First of all, with the midfield, I don't know what he does. I mean, he doesn't rate Hughes. He doesn't rate Riedewald. I'm sorry. But look what Riedewald did today. Out of position, by the way, because he's a midfielder. And I thought he played terrific.
Yeah.
He's a guy that you're talking about last year or 2 years ago. We were talking about progressing and a ball progressing midfielder. He did that at Ajax. So if you just balance the midfield, right? And at this point, I use a number 8, right? I'm not good with the positioning, but defensive midfielder partnering with the core. I mean, to me, he's best at that because when he's playing the wing, it slows down. It's like watching the Knicks when Patrick Ewing was playing. I mean, it was slow. It's too slow. I think you got the players there to put Scott Staple in the midfield, but he doesn't want to do it. And there's nobody else to play Joe Ward. I guess when Richards comes back, you can go to a 3 in the back, but then you still don't have a right wing back. So either way, you're screwed. So Ayew has to start, by the way, for people that don't like him because of his defensive ability. I mean, it would have been worse if he wasn't playing today.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it doesn't matter where he should have been playing.
Yeah, exactly. Was you happy with the starting lineup?
God,
there was a
no.
change, of course. Elise not starting. Jeffrey Schlupp starting in midfield.
No.
You said God no. What was he not happy about?
No. At least they should have started. I don't care about the next game. I care about this game. I mean, we're not at the position start counting points yet.
Yep.
No, at least they should have started. And then Ayew should have been playing the number 8 with Decore, and then Eze.
Yep.
I mean, because Hughes couldn't play. I would have. You know what? I'm going to get roasted for this, but if you didn't want to do that, I would have took Luka back there because you need 2. This team needs 2 defensive midfielders, and Ayew can do that. But if you don't want to do that, then put Luka or whoever your best defensive midfielder is on your bench. Put him in there. Riedewald could have gone in there.
The thing about it is too, if you play Luka next to Decore, it makes it easier for Luka. Like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? You're not asking as much. That's true. That's fact. if you play, y'all can say whatever you want in the chat. That's cool. But if you play Luka next to the Corey, it makes it easier for him.
But don't you think that's a bit too defensive, T?
I don't, because then if you have both of them, then we can really actually push forward with our fullbacks. So you can have attacking players in other modes and other places. And then you give Eze the license to really play forward more. So I don't necessarily think it's too defensive. It just allows us to push forward in other places.
I mean, of all the midfielders, Luka was the one trying to get the ball up the pitch. That's not his game.
Yeah, for me, I think I don't think it's that. Look, we played against Chelsea ever since the break. We come with Elise and Ayew starting.
Right.
We've done that against Chelsea, done that against Leeds. Of course, Chelsea last minute goal conceded. We should have ideally picked up a point if we didn't fall asleep again in the last minute. Against Chelsea, against Leeds, we beat them. For me, it's not complicated. You start Ayew and Elise because they offer something going forward. That's how it is. If Ayew's playing midfield, fair enough. But Elise needs to be on the pitch. He's one of the most dangerous players going forwards in this team. He can't be coming off the bench.
I just didn't understand the reason for the switch in this match.
Because he was looking to rest him for the next, he didn't. That's why he made all those subs.
And that's the thing, bro. Like
that's crazy. We don't worry about
play. At least say 19. At least say he's 19, bro. He don't need no rest. He's 19. Yeah. Play him.
Yeah. And plus, we had a month off. It's not like we're going through a period where we played a lot of games. We only played like 3 games,
and we're about to hit the World Cup break. Let these dudes play, man.
Yeah. I don't understand. Patrick, looking ahead to the Wolves game, is that not a must win, but maybe it is for you. But do you think it's a must win?
It's not a must win because the one thing Vieira is, and this talk about him being Arsenal's next manager, no, stop that. I think he's at heart, I think he's a pragmatic manager. So because of that, this relegation talk, we're not in a relegation battle. We'll be fine there. But it's not a must win because I think we're a better team than Wolves. But to me, it's not a must win. But now, if you don't get a win after that, then it becomes an issue. No, it's not a must win. I just think the crowd will get on the team and the team will respond like it did against.
Respond to it. Yep.
Yeah, because you're at home. This game, I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, and the funny thing, one of the reasons Joe Ward was getting roasted is because they were playing such a high line. I mean, Joe Ward, the defenders were trying to get up the pitch to do something. They just it seemed like no plan. I felt sorry for Anderson. I hope he didn't pull nothing running back covering for him today.
It was a nice game to watch, especially for you guys over in America. You have to wake up crazy early, and the fact that you have to wake up early.
I watch a lot of La Liga. So I watch a lot of La Liga soccer when Madrid plays in the morning. So I'm used to getting up early watching these games.
I got kids, so I'm up, but still,
still
sucks to be up at 6:30 in the morning to watch that type of performance.
To watch that, but look, Patrick, appreciate you coming on, and hopefully catch up soon.
Yeah, appreciate it, Patrick.
Take care, guys.
Take care. That was Patrick. Next up, there's a few more people waiting behind the scenes. We'll bring them on as well. Rainbow says Palace in a battle to finish 15th to 17th as always. Chris says still holes in the squad, lads. Love Woody, but needs more dynamic right back that will put the opposition on the back foot. Agree. Elise has to start weekly. Agreed. I would like to see an CDM alongside the core 4-2-3-1. Okay, let's bring on Rich from Eagle Eye Football. Rich, how you doing, bro?
What a dreadful game.
Yeah, you travelled up there for that game as well.
Where you want money back. Where you want
hey, yo,
money back.
I saw Nate's comment. Wait. I saw Nate's comment. Nate was like, I paid 30 pounds to watch that shit. Like, he said, he was like, I paid 30 pounds to watch paint dry.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah. The fact that you had to get up early as well for that as well.
Listen, you know it's bad when Luke is in contention for man of the match.
Exactly. But where do you think it went wrong then for Palace?
Waiter, Luca, and Riedewald.
So where do you think he said White? Where did it go wrong though for us?
Yeah,
we were too slow in possession.
Yep.
I think we paid him way too much respect. Wilf, it seems off it as well. By the way, I don't know what's going on with him. Just seems a bit off it. I don't know. We were terrible. Like, no team deserved to win this game. It was such an awful game. And the referee was even worse, to be fair. But we got to look at ourselves. We were dreadful, absolutely terrible. But if we beat Wolves, I guess we'll forget about it. You know, 7 from 3 points ain't bad, but this is a game where they were there for the taking and we didn't take it.
Exactly. A very poor defensive side, and we made them keep a clean sheet, let alone anything else. But where do you? So you're talking about Wilf and all the other players. Was you happy with the starting lineup, the way we started the game with Alicia not starting?
I wasn't too mad at it because I thought we would have still taken the game to them. But as literally after like 20 minutes, I was like, yeah, at least it needs to be on this pitch. Yep. We had no attacking outlet. Eze had a few opportunities where he could have surely tried to play a cute pass. We're actually quite toothless, you know, which is really bad. So I don't know. Hopefully we show a better showing on Tuesday, but it just wasn't good today.
Are you confident about Tuesday?
if we play like this, no.
But
it's a game we should be winning, though.
Do you think we'll bounce back?
Oh yeah, at home I think the fans won't allow them to drop off.
JC went 3-1 Palace as well.
Yeah, 100% agree, 100% agree. But look, Rich, you guys enjoy the football. Enjoy your day. Football's done. Don't enjoy the football.
We've got a long journey. We've got an hour journey back. My goodness.
Exactly, hour journey back after watching that as well.
Come to Riley's and they're not doing any food.
Yeah, Riley's ain't serving no food either.
Multiple L's today. Multiple L's. Well, look, appreciate you jumping on.
No doubt.
Enjoy your journey back. Have a safe journey back.
And we're quiet journey back, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, Rich.
All right, big up to you. Peace.
I see you later. That was Rich from Eagle Eye Football. Make sure to check out their channel as well. Do loads of Palace content over there. But look, T, we've had a lot of comments. It's been an eventful show so far. I don't know how an hour's gone by. We'll still read out a few more comments. If you want to join and have your say, click on the pinned comment to join via audio or video. And let us know what you thought about the game. Was you happy with the point? Was you disappointed? Are you? I don't know. You can have millions of thoughts about the game. So whatever you got in your mind, join us and have your say. Jason says Mitchell was really struggling and Gyro at left back was not good. He switched off and easily conceded multiple times.
See, I don't really agree with that. I thought Gyro was solid. I think it was one time where they got a through ball down his side. But he was able to recover and stuff. But I thought Gyro played pretty solid, honestly.
I thought Gyro played solid, but with Ty, let's talk about that because I don't know in this game, but even before the injury, he just didn't look comfortable. He just didn't look comfortable. We're talking about Wardy, but let's be fair. Let's talk about both. I think both our fullbacks wasn't too good.
I don't think he's 100%. I think it's really what it boils down to. I think he's trying to soldier through, and he's playing through some issues that he's having, and he's not able to play at the top level. I mean, that's what it seems like at least.
Yeah. Look. Against Wolves, we're gonna need a massive comeback, but we'll have the match preview where we talk about the Wolves game in more discussion. Let's read out some more comments before we wrap up the show. Let me go back to Aaron. Aaron said, "No excuses anymore. Let's be real. Mitchell keeps getting caught out at the back post with balls being played into our box. Wardy's of it." CJ says, "I said we took a huge gamble in transfer window by not signing enough players. I think we will really struggle this season." Aaron also says something's not right with this team. I noticed today, I'm not sure what it was like. I noticed Vieira screaming at the players and the players not listening. Interesting observation there. CJ says, I woke up at the crack of dawn to watch that absolute dross at Leicester. Disappointing. It was one of them games where honestly you could have just done extra hours of sleep. You wouldn't miss anything. Honestly, you wouldn't miss anything if you actually slept through that game. Jason says, I haven't seen anything this season that tells me that our squad is playing well enough to do anything but battle relegation. They are talented, but I haven't seen that talent translate into field. So, T, I was actually thinking about this. Last season, we were coming on these shows, and we were, for majority of them, we were talking about, we got the draw, but we were very unlucky not to get the win.
Not to get the win, yeah.
This season, we've had a few performances. I remember Newcastle away, now Leicester away, where we've been lucky to get a point.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that as well? Is that something that we should be worried about?
Yeah, I mean, I think what it really ends up being from last year to this year is now in this second year, we're seeing some of these performances as being underachieving. Whereas last season we saw him as unlucky in certain ways. I think right now we're seeing us underperforming because we feel like we should be pushing on from what we were doing last year. We should be pushing forward. We should be progressing in a manner that is good to see for us. It's kind of what Jason was saying. You know, we're not seeing anything from the squad right now that gives us the feeling of the understanding that we're going to be better than we were last season. And you know what he's saying is we're like right now. I don't like the way we look, the way that we're performing, the way that we're coming out. We look very mid. We're very mid-table-ish, lower mid-table-ish at that. You know what I mean? So I think the biggest difference is just the fact that we are now underperforming from what we think we should be getting out of this squad. Because we have a talented squad. We have guys that can play. Like,
but
so
we have pieces of the puzzle that's missing.
That are missing. Very true.
Lineup.
Very true.
Like
Yes,
right
very
back
true.
and maybe another centre midfielder.
Mhm.
Which, if you put them in, I think people might see as two positions, but I see it as bigger than that. Imagine if you get another solid midfielder, box-to-box midfielder. Even that, I think if Ayew plays there for the time being, I don't think we're as bad in midfield as maybe we were at some points of the game today. And if Elise starts and Ayew starts. But then again, get a new right back or another midfielder. I think we improve naturally like that. We haven't, look, the process when Vieira joined was never going to finish after one summer window. Like, it was going to require a window because we have had a very aging squad. And yes, we got rid of them, but we still got players in the squad that we're talking about today
that are aging that shouldn't be there.
Now, if it was a Man City, if it was a Chelsea, then fine. That process could have maybe been a window or two because we could have had all that money and brought in all them players. But because you're Palace and because you don't have the resources that other clubs have, it does take a bit more while. Now, we're talking about two positions. I think if we do improve in them two areas, it helps us significantly. I think we look much better as a side. But despite that, there are still things that if you look at both sides of things, that Vieira today, I'm not too sure of the subs. I don't know how you take off Wilf and Edward. Edward, who's 2-2. Wilf, who against Brentford at home, we saw it. We were bad going forward, but he created something out of nothing. You just don't take them plays off and keep on Ayew. For me, that it doesn't make any sense. So there were moments today where I looked at Vieira thinking, come on, you have to be better than that. But then again, we still haven't got the full squad that we should have to be able to win these games and push on. It's frustrating. It's honestly, look, it's frustrating. But there's another side of it. Look, as Oz said, not that bad today. If you can't win, don't lose. We have had tough games and just need to be more quality in the final third to really push on. Yeah, but these are, Oz, the only thing about that is these are the games where I expect us, because you talk about we've had some tough games. Every game, we saw it. Leicester 20th in the league. And look how they played. Every game is going to be tough, but you expect more than what we saw
just a
today.
better performance.
Yeah, exactly. It ain't the Chelsea or Man City or it's Leicester that are struggling.
Yeah, we can't look like a B side to the team that's the worst in the league. Like we look like in a match where we were able to procure a point, we were the lesser squad. We were the B side the entirety of the match, and being that they are who they are and where they are in the table and where we are, that's not acceptable.
Yeah, I think if you ask someone, look, you don't watch football. There's a side that's 20th, the worst side in the league. Well, now I think they climbed up to 90th, and there's a side that's where were we? 15th.
We're 15th. No, we're up to 13th now. I think we're up to 13th
now. But let's say you had to pick. Let's say someone who doesn't watch football pick. Like I'm not going to tell you the team pick. They would have said that we're 20th. They would say that Leicester's a team that's doing better than Palace this
yes,
season.
no records. You don't tell anybody any records, anything. Which of these two teams is better that you're watching? They would have said Leicester in that match.
And I think that's where the disappointment comes from. Not the fact that we picked up a point away from home. Of course, that's good. But if we put everything into context, it wasn't good enough from Palace. It wasn't. That's how I see it anyways.
Because if you look at even if you just looked at the stats of this game, you would have thought we lost. Or you thought we should have lost.
We should have lost, exactly. And if you watch it, they had the better chances. And if Vicente didn't make one or two good saves, we could have lost. And maybe we should have lost. You know, I don't think we deserved much out of that game because they got in through behind and we got lucky at times. Jason says, I like Ayew in midfield better than Schlupp. Schlupp is better out wide. Swap them. That's what I'm talking about. Ayew midfield, Elise on the right-hand side. I don't think it's as bad as it is. Like, especially like midfield, we have to improve on. But I feel like if Ayew plays there, he offers something going forward.
I wonder what his aversion is to starting him. He just seems like he doesn't want to start Ayew in the midfield. Like, I wonder what the aversion to that is.
He talked about that. He said that Ayew is best down the right-hand side. He talked about it. And someone asked a question about Jordan Ayew starting in midfield. I think Vieira, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of, we know he's played there in preseason. We know that he can play there, but Ayew's best position, he's a forward. He should be playing down the right-hand side. I don't know.
I don't agree.
think down the right side, Elise is better. I think down
exactly.
the right side,
Elise is a better right winger. Let's be honest. Elise is the better right winger. So what you're trying to do here is you're trying to get your best players on the pitch at the same time. And in order to have somebody who has Ayew's motor, who has the ability to draw fouls and have ball retention, if you need that guy to stay on the pitch and he's not your best right winger, put him in the center. That way you can have your best players on the pitch. The problem is right now that we don't have the best players on the pitch at the same time. And we can't afford to make a sub with 20 minutes left in the game and hope to God that he can make something happen.
And I'm going to say it again, I'm going to wrap the show up like this. When Ayew and Elise have started, we have scored a goal so far. If it's not broken, then don't try to fix something that's not broken. That's how I see it. Against Chelsea, I think against Chelsea, we had more than one shot on target. Against Leeds, we had more than one shot on target. And there's a reason for that. And this game, Elise doesn't start, and that happens. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking into it too much. But for me, Elise has to start next game. But look, T, we're going to talk about that in the match preview show. And we'll wrap it up now. Thanks to everyone who's come onto the show. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future Palace content. We should be back maybe tomorrow or Monday with a match preview looking ahead to the Wolves game. So make sure to check that out. Thanks to everyone who has joined us. And until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace.